Hello, this is Mona Lisa. Today I'm going to be telling you a story. It's called Shopping for a Picture. It's story number 1. Here we go. Mrs. Jones wanted a picture for her living room. She took the bus and went to town. She looked for a picture shop, and after a few minutes she found one. There were some pictures in the window, but she did not like them very much. She went into the shop and looked at some other pictures. She liked some of those pictures more. There was a picture of a young girl, and Mrs. Jones liked it very much. She went to the shopkeeper and said, "How much do you want for this picture?" The shopkeeper turned the picture around. He looked at the back of it and then said, £13. £30? Mrs. Jones said. "That's very expensive. I'm going to offer you £20 for it." "I said £13, not £30, the man answered. "13? Mrs. Jones said. "Then I'm going to offer you £9 for it." Okay, the questions for the story. Okay, as follows. Ready? 20 questions. Here we go. Who is the lady in this story? The lady in this story is Mrs. Jones. What did Mrs. Jones want to buy? She wanted to buy a picture, or we could call it a painting. Where does she want to put the things she wants to buy? She wants to put the picture into her living room. Okay? Where did Mrs. Jones go to buy the things she wanted to buy? She went to a shop. Okay, she went to a picture shop. How did Mrs. Jones get there? She went there by bus. How long did it take Mrs. Jones to find a picture shop? It took her a few minutes. So not very long, right? A few minutes. Okay. Did she like the pictures in the window? No, she didn't like the pictures in the window. Did she go into the shop? Yes, she did. Did she find a picture she liked? Yes, she did. She found a picture of a young girl. Can you tell me about the picture she liked? Oh, the picture was about a young girl. So it was a picture of a young girl. What did she ask the shopkeeper? She asked the shopkeeper, "How much do you want for this picture?" How much is the picture? The picture is £13. How much did Mrs. Jones think the shopkeeper said? Mrs. Jones thought the shopkeeper said £30. How much did Mrs. Jones want to pay? Mrs. Jones wanted to pay £20. Why did Mrs. Jones want to pay more than the shopkeeper was asking? Mrs. Jones thought the shopkeeper said £30, so she offered him £20. Did the shopkeeper overcharge Mrs. Jones? No, he didn't. He told Mrs. Jones the picture wasn't £30, it was £13. Did Mrs. Jones think the picture was expensive? Yes, she did. She thought it was expensive. How much was Mrs. Jones' first offer? Mrs. Jones' first offer was £20. How much was Mrs. Jones's second offer? Mrs. Jones's second offer was £9. Do you think the shopkeeper accepted Mrs. Jones's offer? I don't think so. I think the shopkeeper wants £13. Okay? But I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.